Most people believe the fastest way to rise is to show how good they are. They work harder, they deliver better results, they come up with smarter ideas, and they do it openly, expecting their talent to eventually be recognized and rewarded. But here's what actually happens in most cases. The person above them starts to feel threatened. Opportunities quietly stop coming. Their boss becomes colder, more distant, even hostile. And in some cases, they get pushed out, not because they failed, but because they succeeded too visibly. This isn't rare. It's one of the most common and least discussed dynamics in workplaces, families, and social circles. So why does this keep happening? There's a hidden rule behind this behavior. It has existed for centuries, and it still operates today with brutal efficiency. This is Law 1 of the 48 Laws of Power. Never outshine the master. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why this law exists, how it shows up in modern life, and, most importantly, how to apply it without shrinking yourself or playing small. If you want to go through every law in the 48 Laws of Power, one by one, and learn how to actually apply them in real life, I recommend subscribing. We're going to cover all 48 laws in order, breaking down each one with practical, real-world application, so you can use them without becoming manipulative or fake. That way, you won't miss the next law when it drops. Now let's get into Law 1. The Law Explained. Law 1 states, never outshine the master. It means you should never display your talents or abilities so clearly that they make the person above you feel insecure or inferior. In the long run, this only creates resentment and danger. Robert Greene explains that all people, especially those in power, have fragile egos. When you make them look or feel less intelligent, less capable, or less necessary, they will often find a way to punish you. Even if you're technically right, even if you're more skilled. The law isn't telling you to be mediocre. It's telling you to be strategic about how and when you show your strengths. Why this law still matters today. We like to believe that in modern workplaces, talent is always rewarded, and the best idea wins. But human nature hasn't changed much. In most organizations, the person above you controls your opportunities, your reputation, and sometimes your income. If they feel threatened by you, they can quietly block your progress while appearing supportive on the surface. This law shows up in workplaces with insecure bosses. It shows up in families with controlling parents. It shows up in friend groups and social circles. It even shows up in romantic relationships when one person feels insecure about the other's success. The people who rise the fastest are often not the most talented. They're the ones who understand how to manage the egos of those above them while still growing. Historical example. One of the clearest examples of this law in action comes from 17th century France. Nicolas Fouquet was the finance minister under King Louis XIV. He was extremely capable, wealthy, and ambitious. To impress the king, Fouquet threw an extravagant party at his palace, one that was more luxurious and impressive than anything the king had ever experienced. Instead of being pleased, Louis XIV felt deeply threatened. He saw Fouquet's wealth and influence as a danger to his own power. Shortly after the party, Fouquet was arrested on false charges and spent the rest of his life in prison. Meanwhile, another man named Jean-Baptiste Colbert was much more careful. He never tried to outshine the king. He made the king feel powerful and necessary. As a result, Colbert rose to become one of the most powerful men in France. The difference wasn't talent. It was understanding who held the real power and never making that person feel small. How to apply Law 1 in real life. Here's how to actually use this law without shrinking yourself. 1. Give credit upward. When something goes well, make sure the person above you gets recognition too, even if you did most of the work. This makes them feel secure and more likely to support you later. 2. Ask for their input before presenting big ideas. Instead of showing up with a fully formed plan, bring your ideas to your boss or the person in power first. Ask for their thoughts. This makes them feel involved and respected. 3. Never publicly correct or embarrass someone above you. Even if they're wrong, find a private way to address it. Public correction is one of the fastest ways to create an enemy in power. 4. Let them take partial credit for your wins. This is uncomfortable for many people, but it's powerful. When your boss feels like they contributed to your success, they become invested in your continued growth. 5. Know when to hold back. Sometimes the smartest move is to let someone else present your idea, especially if that person has more influence. Your goal is progress, not credit. 6. Build quiet competence. You can still be excellent. Just do it in a way that doesn't constantly remind people above you of their own limitations. Common mistakes people make. Here are the most common ways people violate Law 1. Bragging about their achievements in front of their boss. Constantly correcting or one-upping people in higher positions. Taking full credit for team wins without acknowledging leadership. Being visibly more competent or charismatic than their manager in meetings. Acting like they don't need approval or guidance from anyone above them. All of these behaviors trigger insecurity, and insecure people in power are dangerous. Final thoughts. Law 1 forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Power doesn't always reward the most talented. It often rewards the most strategic. Most people ignore this law because it feels dishonest. But ignoring it doesn't make you more authentic. It usually just makes you more frustrated. The goal isn't to shrink yourself or play small. The goal is to become wise about how power actually moves through people and organizations. The ones who rise the highest don't just work hard. They understand the game they're playing. You can be talented. You can be ambitious. You can be excellent. You just have to be smart about when and how you let that excellence show, especially in front of the people who control your future. This is only the beginning. Over the next videos, we're going to go through every law, one by one, and break down exactly how to apply each one in real life. We'll cover how to speak less and still be heard, how to build real influence without chasing it, how to protect your reputation, and how to move through power dynamics with clarity instead of confusion. If this video made you think about someone in your life, a boss, a partner, a family member, or even yourself, I want you to do something. Drop a comment and tell me, where in your life have you felt punished for being too good at something? Be honest. Your story might help someone else who's going through the same thing right now. Thanks for watching. Move with strategy.